So, in a move that, well, surprised nobody, obviously Nigel Farage is back in the news with his new Brexit party. And, well, according to apparently the constitution of his party, Nigel is pretty much in full control, which shouldn't surprise anyone because that's exactly what the kind of power he had at Ukip. Now, I've always said, look at when Nigel appeared on Question Time compared to where you had other parties. If you, let's say the only way you knew about politics was by watching Question Time, you would assume that the only person in UKIP that was standing for elections or anything else like that was Nigel Farage, because he could not trust anyone else in the party to be put out in front of TV. Because as we've discussed before, there are multiple examples within UKIP of people spouting insane, ridiculous things and being full-on racist. And, you know, you've only got to Google UKIP racism and look back at the number of candidates that won office and then were quickly thrown out again because they'd gone to, like, the local council meeting and basically, shall we say, expressed their views. So, Nigel Farage, and this comes from The Guardian, by the way. So, Nigel Farage has almost total control over the new Brexit party, with power to appoint its governing board and all but no membership to keep him in check. This is apparently to be understood. The party, which polls suggest could win the European elections, formed in January and registered last week. While more than 100,000 people have signed up to be registered supporters, it is not yet allowing them to become formal members with power to vote on the leadership. It is understood that only a handful of people have actual membership of the Brexit Party, which is a skeleton operation as it gears up to fight its first election at the European polls. The party's constitution, released under the Freedom of Information laws, also reveals Farage's power over the project, with the leader having the ability to appoint 4 to 8 board members as the chairman. The setup suggests that Farage is seeking to avoid the tussles he had previously with the UKIP National Executive Committee, which was elected by the membership. It is understood that the Brexit Party has had more than 1,000 expressions of interest from people wanting to become candidates in the European election, but it is not planning to guarantee places on its list to former UKIP MEPs who defect to the Brexit Party. There are 14 MEPs listed as belonging to the Brexit Party on the European Parliamentary website, but a party source said that probably only 5 or 6 would be included in the final list of the 70 candidates spread throughout the regions. The party has announced at least 5 candidates, including Farage himself, John Longworth, a former director of the British Chamber of Commerce, Annunziata Rees-Mogg, and sister of the Conservative MP Rees-Mogg, and Ben Hadib, former Conservative donor. It is also expected to unveil many more at a launch event on Tuesday. Despite its lack of infrastructure, 2 polls by YouGov have put the Brexit Party in pole position to win the European elections, with between 17 and 23% of the vote, while UKIP has fallen back as it moves to the far right under the leadership of Gerard Batten. The separate comms race poll put Labour far away in first place to win the European elections on 33%, with the Brexit Party on 17%. Farage told The Sun he won't get excited about one poll, but it had been a great first week for the party. And the polls show the Conservatives have a huge hit after failing to take the UK out of the EU on the 29th of March or the 12th of April, or to come up with an alternative to Theresa May's Brexit deal. Labour is considering applications from a number of pro-EU candidates to stand in the European elections. The Labour peer Andrew Adonis is understood to be second on the candidates list in the southwest, which is highly winnable. And Elise Todd, for the Best for Britain campaign, is attempting to stand in Yorkshire. However, some Labour MPs representing Leave seats, such as Gareth Snell, have warned that it would be a strategic error to offer only up MEPs in favour of a second referendum and campaign to remain. The Brexit Party has been distracted by the Brexit Party has been described by the SNP Pete Westhart as Farage's ego trip party. It was originally founded and led by Catherine Bitlock, but she resigned over having repeatedly tweeted posts from far-right figures. The party is now led by Farage, with two little-known figures acting as officers, Tracy Knowles as nominating officer and Phil Battersea as treasurer. The constitution shows that the leader will be in a post for a 4-year term and can be removed only by a motion of no confidence voted on by the board, backed up by the extraordinary general meeting of members. And by the way, Farage, as we said earlier in the post, Farage is the one who can put members on that board. So who do you think he's going to put on that board? The party's registered office is a service office in Victoria Street, Westminster, but it is known to have built up a war chest of cash through small donations of less than £500 on PayPal, which do not have to be declared, and the £25 subscription fee registered supporters and £100 applications from people who want to be MEPs. Sajid Khan, a Conservative MEP, attacked the PayPal method of donations in a speech in the European Parliament this week, saying PayPal, through donations of under £500, is facilitating donations of money to Nigel Farage, and I asked him to come and explain to the House. Nigel Farage, where is your money coming from? Which is an entirely valid point. In fact, I would say, regardless of donation size, even if it's like a penny, it should be known exactly who gave that money. Batten, whose party has collapsed in polls in recent days, attacked the Brexit Party at Ukip's election launch on Thursday. He said his predecessor as Ukip's leader had launched a vehicle for one man. He added, "All you get from Nigel is rhetoric." The Brexit Party declined to comment. Meanwhile, there was extreme gloom among the Conservatives about their plummeting position in the polls, which the Comms Relief Chief, Andrew Hawkins, said that this was the lowest Tory support I can remember in 16 years in this job. Matthew Goodwin, the University of Kent politics academic, said that the numbers suggest it could be the Tories' annus horribilis, as they were 11 points adrift of Labour, and that this would be their lowest vote share in history. So, there you go, and everything is to play for. Now, of course, you never know until the fat lady sings. Who knows what could happen? But bear in mind, this is just the first week. What I would really hope to see is that all the parties for Remain, and this includes Labour, Lib Dems, Conservatives, just go, you know what, sod it. Let's just be the Remain party. Nothing else matters. Let's just be the Remain party so everyone gets behind it. And that way, you've got the Brexit party, the Remain party, and then everyone else. And that way, it acts as basically a soft referendum, which this is pretty much going to be. And that's why I would heavily encourage, again, to get out there and vote. And especially, there's a really good article about tactical voting for Remainers. In fact, if you look it up online, it's constantly being updated about if you want to remain in the European Union, which party you should be voting for, and who you should be putting your tick next to, essentially.